another aspect of this big tech debate that I've been thinking about a lot more lately, that I think is important for conservatives, actually in particular, to consider, is the extent to which the way that we have governed and regulated online companies sets the tone and the stage for that regulation across the world. You've got Europe, which both in terms of competition policy and in terms of how they regulate speech and how they regulate commerce is much, much more hands-on, much, much more interventionist. And there's a reason why very few of the largest tech companies in the world are based in Europe. Why the sort of platforms and protocols and the things that hold the internet together have largely been adopted from U.S. innovators, and part of it is because we've given that whole sector this amazing freedom that it had to sort of innovate and develop on its own, a freedom that very few industries in the American economy unfortunately have. And as we start sort of tightening that web, or as we start, the government starts digging its claws into emerging tech, the way that it does that is going to pass along to a lot of the rest of the world. Or to me, what would be even worse than that is if we start, enforcing a competition policy where we're just breaking up all the big tech companies because they have too much power, then they produce lots of products that we like, and because they're big. If our economy and our companies and our entrepreneurs are not the people who are producing the next generation of big tech, whatever that's going to look like, what would it look like if instead China were setting the technology standards and for the rest of the world? What would that what would that look like? And that has implications not just for our citizens, but it has implications for sort of free expression and freedom of speech across the world.
I don't want my email address to be at wuhanmail.com.
Like in America, at least for the time being, because as long as it doesn't get regulated away, we have the ability to use things like end-to-end encryption to bypass the ability of the government to surveil what we're saying to each other. I mean, that is a lifeline for dissidents and oppressed peoples all around the world, and that largely exists because, in many cases, European and U.S. companies have created the environment for it to exist. And obviously, Chinese tech standards, they want to ban all of that kind of stuff because they want to be able to control everybody and their information all the time.
I feel like this is... Yeah, I like that point that you're making there, because it goes to kind of some inner Ronald Reagan there. America, we can either be pulled in Europe's direction, or we can try to pull Europe back in our direction. And is America going to be... I mean, I feel like conservatives should be emboldened by that argument. Are we going to be the shining light upon the hill, or whatever, however Ronald Reagan described that in that famous quote, where we're going to show the rest of the world how to do it, and then embrace, in my mind, it kind of conjured up as you're describing there, the Wild West. Are we? Everyone pictures Americans as cowboy hats. Is that going to be us? Like, we're just going out into the frontier and we're going to figure this out and just kind of live free, or are we going to control everyone's fate and be Europe and then, God forbid, be China? So I think that's a powerful argument, actually, to make.
The European road leads to China, I think, is the point you're making.